Good morning, good day, good evening, good night. I'm sure there is someone in the audience who can answer properly to any of these greetings. I mentioned it already several times. I used to be a scientist. And at some point when I thought of doing something different, even though I dreamed of being a physicist from the very, very young age, and I became one, I went to the leader of our group, who was a very, very prominent scientist. He had Nobel Prize, to tell you, actually. So basically, there is nothing better than that. And I asked him, and I wanted him to tell me out of doing something different, going out. And I said, did you ever think, have you ever thought of doing something different? And he said, when I was your age, I wanted to be a broker. I wanted to do financial trading and things like that. Well, at that point, I said, thank you very much. I'm out of here. And I started something new, and which brought me to be here with you today. My name is Dr. Leon Rebelsky, and I'm with Qubit Life Trading Academy. And today we are going to continue our journey into the wonderful world of making you richer. I mean, maybe not rich, but definitely wealthier. Okay, let me tell you what we're going to talk about today. Today, as always, we'll talk about what's going on in the world of crypto assets. In the world of crypto assets, I will tell you about the latest news from the markets, latest news from the corporate world, from the world of investment, from Wall Street to the Main Street. And of course, we will talk about the robots. I mean, this is the most important thing because, I mean, it's nice to know everything about everything, but it's also very, very important to use it for your own benefit. And the robots and trading signals is something which is very, very hot, very, very good right now. And this is something that will help you to advance in life very, very nicely. Okay, as usual, we'll talk about, I want to start with this. I mean, we all know what's going on in the world of crypto right now. And we have this feeling that we're missing something. If you're not there yet, if you're not on this train yet, we have the feeling that we can miss it. I mean, please don't miss this train. I mean, get into the markets right now probably is the best time. Well, maybe the best time are ahead of us. But if we look back, these are the best time for investment. These are the best time for trading. These are the best times to making your life a little bit better. So be on the train. Today we're going to talk in the markets. We're going to talk about, as usually, 4 major cryptocurrencies. Well, there are more than that, but these are my favorite ones: Bitcoin, Ethereum, Ripple, and Litecoin. We'll spend a little bit more time talking about Ripple than usual because this is very, very, as I told you last time, and continue telling you every time, this is like a test case right now for the whole industry. Okay, Bitcoin daily, nothing unexpected happened. Last week we were talking about this change of trend. It continues to go up, and we all expect, not only myself, but all analysts in the world, expect it to go to maybe 100, and that is going to be the next stop. So if you are an investor, just hodl it and wait until it reaches the level when you want to. If you are a trader, and I am, and our robots are helping you with that, and my colleagues at Qubit Life are, you are making use of all these littles up and down. And this happens in all crypto assets that I'm talking about. In Ethereum, this is the same situation in Ethereum, for example, daily and 4 hourly. Litecoin daily and 4 hourly. I mean, it's getting boring a little bit, I know. I mean, we all need adrenaline, we all need excitement, but excitement stands back after takes second level after making money. And of course, Ripple. Ripple is, as I said, totally different. Well, I hope you've heard what I was saying, because I just got a message that my mic was out. I hope it is on now. Hold on a second, let me check. Okay, so we're talking about flat robots and trend robots. And we also have a smart robot, which is a very, very sophisticated creature, even more than others. And what I'm going to do now, I'm going to tell you and show you how to make sure that, how to connect the robot to your account. Let me make sure that my mic is on, because I got a message that it's not. Okay, now it's on. Okay, so in order to use robots, Qubit Life robots, you need on the exchange of your choice. It's not full exchange of your choice, because right now there are two exchanges that we're working with. It's Binance and Bitfinex. I showed it to you already. I just want to remind you how to do it. In order to work on Binance, for example, to connect your robots to Binance Exchange, you need to go to your account in Binance Exchange. This is what you see when you log into your account. You go to the your account settings, and you click on API management right here. When you click on API management, you see the view like this, the screen like this. You choose the name of your own API management key, API private key, because you need to get a private key in order to connect. And you click on Create API. Then you will have to go through several very, very important security verification process, both by email and by phone verification. Usually it's, as I say, usually it's only when you log into Binance, it's only email, or it's only not email, it's only, in my case, telephone. But in this case, since it's a very, very important step, you will have to pass both of them. Now, this is where it takes you. The process takes you to the page of creating the API management key, private key. You label your API key the way you want it to go, and basically you click on Create API. And then this is what you get. You get two unpronounceable lines. One is your API key, another one is your secret key. You will need both of them in order to connect to connect your robot, to connect Qubit Life robot to the exchange. So you need to copy paste it somewhere in a very, very safe place, because this gives whoever knows these two lines has full access to your account and your funds. So please keep it very, very safe. So after you have your API private key and the secret key, you go to the Qubit Life. You log into your, you already all know how to do this, I'm sure. So you log into your account, because in order to connect your robot, you have to be in your Qubit Life account. This is a page that you get in the very beginning. You go to menu and you select robots. Your choice is robots. After you do, you get this screen that you can choose between flat robot and trend. Oh, I'm sorry. For some reason, it also says flat here, but it doesn't matter. So you choose between flat robot and trend robot. The difference is actually for making money is not very, very important. Because what's happening is that you just they're using different indicators, technical indicators, technical analysis. The flat robot is very, very efficient on the periods of more or less flat change corridor price movement, and trend robot, of course, is what is more usable right now, because we're most of the time we're in a trend. So trend robot is used when you are in a trend. For different currencies, it's different, but in this particular case, since we're mostly working only with two currencies, Bitcoin and Ethereum. They are on a rise, so most of the time the trend robot is more efficient than a flat robot. So when you choose the one, you click, you enter the platform that you want to do. Is when you click on this arrow, it will give you a choice of Binance and Bitfinex. You put in your API key and the secret key. As I said, you copy pasted it somewhere. So you add the key, and you go. Now you have to make a few choices. There are actually three different choices that you have to make. One is the strategy. There are three different strategies. They are called low risk, high risk, and medium. I mean, don't be scared by the word risk, because it doesn't mean that your funds are at risk. It's simply they're a little bit more or a little bit less aggressive approach to trading. And of course, the more aggressive approach, the more reward you get. I mean, it's like everyone in life, more risk, more reward. But again, it has absolutely nothing to do with keeping your funds at risk, because you always enter the level of your entry. I will show it in a second. And this is basically your investment is what is at risk in any event. Then you need to choose a pair. The pair for trading is going to be either BTC versus Tether, ETH versus Ether, or ETH versus BTC. This is the one that I like actually very much, because these two are more or less predictable. In a time of uprising trend, we know that they are going to move. If we're with a trend robot, this is very simple. This one, ETH versus BTC, is a little bit more tricky, and therefore it's giving you more rewards. You know, I used to trade Forex a lot, and I still do actually. I do keep several accounts, and there are two currencies for those of you who did that before. You know that many currencies are correlated, and there are two currencies that are very much correlated, like Australian dollar and New Zealand dollar. And so basically it's easy to predict, more or less easy to predict behavior of those in relation to other, but it's very, very difficult to predict the behavior of Australian against New Zealand dollar. And that was always, that was always a gamble for me. So the gamble that usually paid off very, very handsomely. Okay, then you need to select the balance that you're going to trade with, and the minimum balance that has to be on your account is $200, and the robot automatically using 5% of your balance for the trade size. And one thing that I did not mention, is the time frame. It's 1 hour or 4 hours. Of course, for 1 hour, the trades will be more often. So you basically can sit in front of your screen, in front of your computer, and see how it's happening. But the reward for every profit for every trade, of course, will be smaller than for 4 hours. My small advice, and this is a very, very important one, the longer the period of, the longer the time frame, the better indicators work, technical indicators. Well, of course, it goes up to 1 day. I usually trade on 1 day and 4 hour time frames. Anything higher than 1 day, like a week or a month, is already subject to political, economical, and other events. So it's very, very difficult to predict with technical indicators. So you choose time frame, you select risk, you select pair, you select balance, and you start robot. There you are. You can go take a break, you can go to lunch, come back and see how much money the robot made for you while you are away from your computer. So these are two simple robots. As I said, we have one that is very, very sophisticated, and it's using really the best of, it's like full-fledged system for trading. It's using different technical indicators. It's using different pairs. I mean, assets. The assets. If for a flat and trend robot there are only two. Basically, there are only two assets that we are trading with. Here there are like 20 or 25 different. I don't remember exactly different ones. And of course, the reward. If in the case of trend and flat, your reward ranges anywhere between 3 to 7% per month, here you can go up to 20% per month. And that is a very, very handsome return. Tell any banker about this return and they will eat your heart out. I'm sorry to say that. Okay, so robots are very good and very beneficial. But what do you want? What if you want to, knock on the computer yourself and yourself do action that will make you money? Well, you need to have your account, you need to have wallet, you need to have different technical things. But most importantly, you need to know when to open the trade and which asset to use. So you need information. I already told you before, you can go and study, and I suggest that you do, and this is basically what we're doing here, but you can do this, halfway. You can use Qubit Live trading signals. They are the product of our analytical department. They're very, very efficient. They give you can see actually you can see the signals that were used before on a TradingView platform. I told you about it. I think next time I'll try to tell you a little bit more about TradingView, but this is what you can use. This is where you can see the effectiveness. So the trading signals are very easy to use. You subscribe to the signals on the platform. The first week you see how it works. You don't like it. I haven't met a person who didn't like the signals because they give you really very, very good return. And you get up to about 20 trading signals per month. That seemed to be not too much, to the large quantity, but believe me, with 20 signals, you will be very, very well ahead of many other traders who do their analytics themselves. So there are buy-side signals, and here are some that are were made within the last week or two. There are sell-side signals also. They come rather often. So I will devote. But one thing that you need to know, one thing that you should be able to do when you do the trading signals, you need to be able to set up the pending orders. We talked about it. I will again talk about it next time because this is very, very important for using the trading signals. Okay, now we are going to do the view of the overall situation in the market, and I want to say these resources that I used for collecting my information. And as I already told you, this is very, I mean, every day something is happening. I mean, I have very great difficulty in selecting those that might be most interesting to you. They're definitely most interesting to me, and those which in one way affect the development of the crypto world. And on the other hand, they are the signs that crypto world is becoming fully fully acceptable to the in the financial world, in the conventional financial world. Okay, so let's go ahead. Let's start from the heavyweights. JP Morgan, they made a poll, and 22% of the respondents say they are companies and they themselves will trade or invest in cryptocurrencies. Of course, this all started with what Mr. Elon Musk did a few weeks ago by investing Tesla reserve cash into Bitcoin. And as a matter of fact, it paid off very, very nicely. I already mentioned, and I'm sure you know that Tesla company made more money in 1 week by trading Bitcoin, by holding Bitcoin, than the company made in 1 whole year by selling cars. And this is a car company, car manufacturing company. So 58% are sure that crypto is not going anywhere, and 7% are sure that this is going to be the most important asset. When I'm talking, what they mean, I don't know exactly what they mean, but I would imagine that this is, they compare it to other assets like currencies, like fiat currencies, I mean, like gold, maybe like something of that sort. We will compare next week. I will devote especially to comparing, like very serious comparing of fiat to crypto and gold to crypto. But right now, let's settle with this. Okay, and this based on this poll or before this poll, I don't know. JP Morgan launched an investment product. It's a very, very new one. It's just started very, very recently. It's a node that product based on the performance on what they call cryptocurrency exposure basket, and that is the product that is using effectiveness and several stocks of companies that are very deep in the cryptocurrency market. And these nodes are designed specifically for investment, for investors who want to be exposed to crypto world. And I think everybody, almost everybody are here, now are. Okay, so I forgot to tell you there are 11 different stocks that are in this basket, and so far the basket this product is performing very, very nicely. Well, in order to do work in this direction, you need to have people. You need to have people who understand how to do it. You need to have people who understand crypto, and to understand crypto, it comes after understanding the blockchain. The blockchain is what is behind every crypto asset around. So major heavyweights in the financial world, like JP Morgan, Bank of New York Mellon, I told you about their venture into crypto, I think 2 weeks ago. Citigroup and many others are hunting for people who understand blockchain. And JP Morgan has 56 open positions for blockchain developers and blockchain related occupations. And that also very, very good, very, very convincing sign that that this company is taking crypto and blockchain seriously. Well, and I don't know whether it's how important it is to you, but blockchain, JP Morgan is taking blockchain out of this world. They're testing right now the blockchain-based payment system between satellites. And well, I think, honestly, I think that this is more important and more interesting than sending a car, Tesla car, into space with a mannequin. Well, I also mentioned this before. I think last time I talked about it. It's all based, the hope for the for people who work, for companies who work in this direction, of course, they're based on the prognosis of increasing price of Bitcoin and other assets. And this B2B a method of analysis predicts a very wide range, but nevertheless, even the lower level of this range is very attractive, 100K to 288K in 2021. Well, there are different views of that. I've heard very serious and very trustworthy technical analysis talking about the next level, very important level of 170 for Bitcoin, which could be reached sometime in late fall. But still, I mean, we know that Bitcoin is really shooting up, and you see, 33% of people who understand how Plan B is working are sure that 288 is reachable. 37 believe in 100K. That's a lot. In my opinion, that's a lot. Okay, so these are view of technical people. Technical meaning that not financial, and this is technical meaning that this is based on technical analysis. Goldman Sachs, people who are using both technical analysis and of course the fundamental analysis, are sure that 100K this year is where we're going to go. Don't want to spend too much time on that. Okay, now the real heavyweights of financial world are not standing, not idling by side. Soros Fund, New York Life, Morgan Stanley, I mean, they are all in the business of crypto right now. There are several companies here. There are Stone Ridge Holding Group, Morgan Stanley, New York Life, Mass Mutual Fund, Soros Fund. I mean, they all combine their efforts. They set up the NYDIG, New York Digital Investment Group. This is a group, they did not put huge amount of money into it yet, because this is mostly right now to understand and strategically map out the direction of movement, not tactically doing major steps right now, but they are investigating, they are mapping the development of investment, insurance, banking, and even a charity direction using the crypto. And I'm absolutely sure that with names like this is going to be working very well. These people don't do anything that is not in their view, and in their very educated view and very advanced view, which is not, they don't do anything that is not going to be profitable. Well, from Wall Street to Main Street, as I already said today, from the whales of the business to another whale, but though the company that comes into every house, this is American Residential Warranty Company, and they are all over. I mean, they are basically in every town of the U.S., and they're planning to expand their portfolio and in order to boost returns on cash. This is what they say, and they are in already also. Now I want to spend quite some time on talking about Ripple. The situation, again, everybody in the business knows what's happening with Ripple. Everybody knows about this showdown between Ripple and the Securities and Exchange Commission. Securities and Exchange Commission accused Ripple of using unregulated products, and therefore stopped the trading of Ripple on several US exchanges. But as the Ripple CEO mentions, and indicates Ripple is still being traded on more than 200 exchanges in the world. And most important region, and I will show you some statistics a little bit later, one of the most active and most important regions, which is Asia Pacific, is not affected at all by the situation with Ripple in the US. It's continued to grow in Asia and Japan, and they don't have any regulation issues in these markets. And actually, they're not only continuing to do what they were doing, but they're also developing new products. And this new product is going to become, I think, one of the most important ones in the next foreseeable future. And that is a product that will be useful for central banks of different countries to create their own central bank digital currencies. One of the banks, Banque de France, Central Bank of France, is already committed already to Ripple, choosing to prefer it over Bitcoin and Ethereum, and so it's in the making already. Basically, Ripple new product, new private version of the ledger will support central banks in issuance of CBDC, and it's built for payment. We all know that basically every central bank is thinking about it right now. As I said, it's very simple. I said it already several times. They understood and took close to heart the old saying, if you cannot beat them, join them. So central banks are developing their own digital currencies to make the payment process between countries and over the borders easier. But in my opinion, they are more interested in taking back, if not control, but at least the information on what is going on. Because basically, if they have their own, excuse me, my cat got into the view of, I'm sorry. So they want to have information on who is doing what in the money transfers. And of course, in terms of these economical uncertainties like COVID, like unrest in the US and many other things, it's very, very important for most of the people to have their funds in the exchanges or in the hands of those whom they trust. And they still trust government, I don't know why, more than commercial banks. And one of the first countries who is really the pioneer of the CBDC, of course, is China with digital yuan. They already had few pilot programs in several cities, and now they're going into this full speed. So this is a very, very important test case for the development of central bank digital currencies. Just want to mention very, very briefly here the crypto versus fiat advantages and disadvantages. And these are, of course, the things that banks are considering when making their decision on how to proceed. And that is, of course, the advantages are distribution of control to actual owners of the asset, permanent record, high level of privacy, transparency. I mean, everybody could see what is happening. On the negative side, of course, high volatility, and it's very scarce. It's very difficult to work with crypto in a sense yet, but it's changing every day. And the appeal of new technology is something that we shouldn't underestimate, of course. Now, a very, very important development, I mean, maybe one of the major developments probably on the same level as this Ripple situation. The Ethereum network is going to go through probably the biggest change since it's been since it started. What in the plans is reduction of quantity of amount of outstanding Ether coins, and it's going to be done in a very, very simple way. You know what it is used for most of the time. You know what the Ether is used for. It's used to support the smart contracts. So the idea right now is to take the tokens that are used in the support of smart contracts to take them out of circulation every time they already did the work. And this is really one of the biggest milestones, and it will control the inflation of Ethereum. And basically, if the company really, if the project really does this, it would probably lead to the negative inflation. And what it means? Very, very simple thing. Even now, as it is, Ethereum somewhat outperforming Bitcoin and most of other cryptos. I mean, it went up 536% in the last year and 130 in this year. So as it is, Ethereum is a very, very promising for investment instrument. And with a reduced supply, it will likely just hit the prices, keep the prices up. So watching Ethereum very, very closely. Well, just to mention, I mean, very, very briefly, because we'll talk about it next time, Bitcoin versus gold. I mean, I don't like myself this comparison, but it keeps coming up every time. And here's a chart of Bitcoin against gold, not Bitcoin, Bitcoin and gold against time. And we see that the rise of Bitcoin, the gold is actually on the downward trend. I'm not sure it's connected, but it's a nice thing to look at. And since we started talking about gold, just one simple reason why gold, why crypto could be better than gold. I mean, when we're talking about assets like gold, they are called security, safety, I mean, safe harbor assets. In the times of turmoil, in the war, in many different situations, in natural disaster situations, gold is something that is used for keeping your assets, keeping your wealth safe. But is it really? I mean, well, for most people who are with average level of investment, yeah, you can keep few kilos of gold somewhere in your house and you're safe more or less. But still, it's easier to keep one flash, one computer or a flash card than a few kilos of gold. So like Indians say, it's an Indian proverb, wealth is only what you can carry. It's a lot easier to carry crypto than gold. One of the reasons, well, again, as I say, next time I will devote especially to comparison gold and fiat to crypto. Now, let's move to a market, a very important market. I mean, I start from part of this market, and then we move to, I will mention the whole market in itself. In South Korea, in the month of February, every day, 7 billion US dollars were traded on different exchanges with crypto. I mean, this is a huge amount. It's probably one of the largest in the world, if not the largest. And in the view of the very analytical company Messari, right now Asia is the most active market in the world for crypto. I mean, it used to be the US, now it's Asia. And China, Japan, Korea, Hong Kong, and Singapore, I mean, they have, in terms of liquidity, they are the best. Other great potential to grow up as well. So watching Asia very closely. And the reason also is that in these markets, the traditional finance has its very significant, not very, but rather significant drawbacks. And of course, every time like something like this happens, crypto becomes a very desirable asset. In South Korea, I'm starting to speed up because we don't have much time left. In South Korea, an interesting trend was seen, and that is that most females who are mostly mothers have been actively buying Bitcoin in recent weeks. So they called it mother second boom, and basically in South Korea, people of this age are the most, and gender are the most active traders. Need to mention this, but I think I will leave it for the next time, and I will be wrapping up. I will talk about. Oh yeah, this is what I want to mention. I mean, this is not going to make you rich, but this is going to make you more knowledgeable. I mean, internet and experts found a new suspect of being Satoshi Nakamoto, and that is, of course, Len Sassaman. I did not get into details of that very deep, but I just know that this gentleman was he's actually deceased now, was very instrumental in developing anonymous remailer technology. That was actually basically at the same time and a little bit earlier than Bitcoin development, and that also goes into the falls into the field of decentralization of exchange, but this is information exchange. Very important, very interesting. So if I have time next time, I'll tell you more about this gentleman. And sort of almost on a joke, 21 million Bitcoin club. You know that the overall quantity of Bitcoin mined is going to be 21 million. And for some time now, for a few years, people who hold one Bitcoin call themselves members of 21 million Bitcoin club. So right now, one single Bitcoin is, well, I'm not even going to try to say that. This is that many of Bitcoin owners, the percentage of the overall supply. But 21 Bitcoin, I don't know, I like the number games. 21 Bitcoin right now is 1 million, approximately 1 million, a little bit more. And that is 1/21 of the 1 millionth of the Bitcoin supply is worth 1 million right now. That is a funny thing. I mean, I like this number coincidence, even though some people say there are no coincidences here, but this is nice and funny. I'm going to talk about this tax aspect, capital gains tax next time, because I have very little time left. A good thing that I told you about robots before. This is what I'm going to talk about next time, but I want to mention one important thing right now. Mr. Bill Gates, who is a critic of almost everything that is in the world, except for his vaccination, basically made a rather correct stand on the Bitcoin and the global warming climate thing. Bitcoin uses more electricity per transaction than any other method known to mankind. Indeed, one Bitcoin transaction requires an average of 300 kilo of carbon dioxide. And that is equivalent to the 750,000 of Visa swipes. That tells us something about the Bitcoin situation, about the crypto situation and all, but I'm sure it will be addressed, and I'm sure that a solution will be found. Not time to talk about this next time. And I want to finish with another saying of Mr. Since we already mentioned Mr. Gates. This is his opinion. It's not my opinion, but this is an interesting one. Elon has tons of money and he is very sophisticated. So I don't worry about that his Bitcoin will sort of randomly go up or down. But general thought that if you have less money than Elon, you should probably watch out. I'll tell you, you should watch out if you have less money than Elon, if you have as much money as Elon or more. Actually, only one person in the world has more than he does. You always have to be watching what you're doing. You always have to know exactly what you're doing in the financial markets. In the financial markets, it's like they say about traffic rules and some safety rules, that these rules are written with blood. The rules of financial world are written with blood also. I will help you to avoid this blood, and I'll help you. The Qubit life is going to make you wealthier without being in danger of losing money. Thank you very much, Dr. Leon Rebelsky. Looking forward already to seeing you next time and telling you all that I didn't have time